stranger to broken magic. He has been on it before. You will see him again. He's a great guy. Go down for Pete Sakaris.
Thank you. Tell you a little about myself. The world will soon celebrate Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, and I have cerebral palsy, so I'm very aware of it. It's a brain disorder that affects the muscles. It affects my hand gestures sometimes. Like, I can't tell someone peace without looking all alien-like. And I can't flip someone off without looking like I'm going to stab them. It also affects my posture at times, but I'm no slouch. It affects me socially too. Like, you probably had a cool nickname on the playground, like Big Ben, Tony, or Knuckles. Mine was Helmet Boy. But on the plus side, having cerebral palsy means that I never get offended when someone says, "Hey, what are you getting all bent out of shape for?" I'm like, no reason. I was just born that way. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, but this one time, my friends made me take a shot of an unholy concoction known as Rumplemintz, and it was disgusting. It tasted like Altoids and fascism. And I've never done drugs, so the only tripping I do is over my own feet. Trick or two, I appreciate that. I was chatting with an online support agent for something at work, and it was taking a really long time for them to research the problem. And they actually said, "Pete, you might want to grab coffee or a snack, because this might take a while." And I was like, oh no, they didn't suggest a Snickers. I think shit's about to get real. And it was all right. This will give you an insight into how dumb I am, how well this associate's degree is working out for me. I have a new walk home from the bus stop for about the past 5 months, and when I started the new route, there were these two girls in flower dresses outside of a dispensary over on 72nd, and they were holding signs advertising the place, like touring them around, very stoic, very dedicated. They didn't talk much. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go over and talk to them right away. I put out the vibe, work on my mojo, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, they're just really dedicated. They just stand still, they say nothing, and they just twirl those signs all day, throwing it at this to the dispensary. 5 months later, actually last week in fact, I found out they were mannequins. Good on them for staying true to their craft, even though they're made out of plastic. Don't really have a punchline for that one, except I'm just stupid. And with the pandemic, we're trying to do whatever we can to amuse ourselves. And one of my favorite things to do is, no matter what Chinese fortune I get, just add "in bed" to the end of it. Like, I had one last time, which is like, "You will be sought after for your diplomatic skills." So I changed it to, "You will be sought after for your diplomatic skills in bed." And that might make me say stuff like, "Hey girl, let's me and you turn out the lights, take off all our clothes, and rectify these foreign trade agreements." And I had one last week that said, "The greatest success is standing up after failing in bed." And then I had another one that said, "People find you incredibly attractive in bed." And I was like, for once, these things are getting accurate. At the risk of bringing the mood down, I had a gun pointed at me recently. I was walking home from work, and this guy jumps out of the bushes, points this thing in my face. My life flashes before my eyes. I see how I'm going to die. And all of a sudden, green foam darts hit me in the chest. A rubber ball hits me in the face. The absolute nerve of some people. I graduated from a community college, so I guess you could say I reached for the sky's limit. I went to Iowa Western. Our mascot was the Reavers. It was a type of pirate that got drunk, partied, and caused trouble everywhere they went. And I was like, well, we're in college, so that makes a lot of sense. The college is in Council Bluffs, so that makes even more sense. And they sure do drink a lot of PBR. The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem, so I admit that was a stupid one. Any wrestling fans in the house tonight? For this joke to work? Thank you. I'm a professional wrestling ring announcer in my spare time, and these independent wrestling shows are a lot like local comedy. You do it because you love it, you do it because you're passionate about it, even though it may not have the glitz and glamour of the big stage. Like, I've been on shows where the concession stand was literally a woman handing out gum. I've been on shows where the booming sound system was a microphone held into a boombox. And I've been on shows where someone forgot the ring bell, so I actually had to go ding ding into the mic. And you know you're doing a show in a small town when the bar across the street from the venue has a one-legged, one-man band doing AC/DC covers. I'm a little disappointed he wasn't called Thunderstump, but what are you going to do? That joke is brought to you by the booming progressive metropolis of Milo, Iowa. Population 900. And on one of these shows, there was a tag team called the Yellow Dogs, and it's just what you're thinking. The ears, the tails, the kids loved it. Except a certain ring announcer got humped by both members of that tag team. As if that wasn't bad enough, the entire crowd chanted, "Pete got laid! Pete got laid!" Not what I was expecting for a first time, but I'll take it since it was inside a ring. And I go on a lot of these long road trips to comedy and wrestling, and you probably experienced this where you're so delirious after a long road trip, you wake up after falling asleep, and you can't really remember where you are. You wonder if you're home yet. Like I performed in Sioux City, Iowa recently. Not a great looking group of folks. I mean, they were drinking beer, spitting tobacco, shooting guns, hitting their kids, and the men were even worse. But it got to be about 4 or 5 hours, and I just woke up and I was like, "Are we back in Nebraska yet? Are we back in Nebraska yet?" And I just wasn't sure until we stopped at a gas station and I saw a guy out front snorting the shavings off of a scratch off. And I was like, "Well, we're back in Nebraska, that's for sure." Anybody work in a call center, customer service? All right. You'll love this joke, I'm sure, since I reached the key demographic. I worked in a call center for 12 years and still managed to maintain my sanity. And I found out pretty quick that you've worked in a call center for way too long when a girl hugs you and the first thing out of your mouth is, "Thank you for holding me." It came in handy whenever I got into an argument because someone would be yelling at me cussing up a storm and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Please try again." But I knew I was in trouble when I had a girl in bed with me, and that's not the joke. Now, let's not kid ourselves. I'm fully vaxxed, sharp as a tack, and tasty like a snack. And we're kissing, we're making out, things start to progress, it's getting hot and heavy, it's about to go down. And all of a sudden I panicked and went, "Before we continue, I must advise you that for quality purposes, this sex may be monitored or recorded." Take with no shit, give with no books. I'm Pete Sakaris. Thanks very much.